Welcome back to Community Talk Radio. This is Project Independence and You, Talk of the Town on LIU Public Radio. Well, this is the time of the show where Otto whips out his list of fabulous topics and we chat about them. So lay it on us, Otto.
On the way here, I drove through Post and Wheatley through Old Westbury, which is like being in a whole another country.
World, yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking spring has definitely come.
Yes.
We're going to go up and down with the temperature right now, but that's part of the package.
Yeah.
So now I'm thinking, okay, we're in the middle of April, working our way into May, and people may start to think about, well, what can we do? What,
The weather's
are there
nice,
any short little trips I can take? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I thought we could chat a little bit about ideas for what can you do with yourself, like when the weather's pretty good and you are able, or maybe somebody can bring you to stuff that's around here. For example, I know like you like Montauk.
I do.
Montauk, I love
as an
do.
example.
Yes, that is actually something that we're planning because obviously we like to bring our little pup with us, and he can't go on the beaches after Memorial Day, so we're like in the sweet spot.
Before,
yes,
right.
I was just talking
Even
to my
with
husband.
a bathing suit?
Yes, and no, unfortunately no, and he's a life jacket. I mean, he's got all the gear, and he loves the water. My babe.
Did you get the beach pass to go off road?
Yes,
Good.
We have that,
week.
but that's a whole other thing because my husband got a new truck, and doesn't want to bring the truck on it. So so we're gonna have to work out those kinks with that, but but. There are really, we're so fortunate, and I say this all the time on the show, to live on Long Island because obviously, this is a town, North Hempstead thing, but, we're very close to other areas too, that there's beautiful things to do outside and to get out there that don't even necessarily cost anything. A huge thing in my family, which, I was thinking about for my mom, we just love being around boats, right? Don't own a boat.
Yeah.
But love
so
love a dock.
That's the best kind of boat. The one you don't own.
Right.
We love to just walk around a dock. There's just something about it. Ever since I was a little girl, that I just absolutely love it. Yeah,
it's just like the whole. Yeah.
It is.
It's nice to have like lunch or dinner on a dock when like down in Freeport along that whatever they call that thing.
But I think and that's what I obviously it's great if you have funds to do certain things like that. But I do think that there are ways to kind of spend to not necessarily have to pay anything, whether you're going to a park and bringing some kind of a picnicky thing, or a snack. I mean, our cup of coffee. I mean, there's so many ways to enjoy the outdoors that don't necessarily cost anything.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
In other words, you don't have to go on a river cruise or a big cruise or, go on a cross-country trip.
Right.
These all require time and money.
Yeah.
And it depends on your situation. And the other part of it, frankly, is there's a lot of time, even if you do that, you go on a cruise that takes 2 weeks, let's say, you still have a whole bunch of other time that you might want to do things.
Right.
And we happen to live, it's expensive to live where we live.
But we really
But make the most of it, right?
Really
Enjoy it.
But I mean, we happen to be right near the ocean. A lot of people in this country never see the ocean in their
and
life.
you take it for granted, right?
Yeah.
Like I walk Sundays with a group down by Jones Beach. And it's just nice to walk along the boardwalk and see what a beautiful, that beach, the whole strip is it's not commercialized and it's as nice a beach as there is in this country, as far as I'm concerned. But it doesn't get the publicity for some reason.
Do you go to all different parking lots, or you just go
I
to
mainly
the
go
main?
to Park and Field 6.
Right, you're in the 6.
But some of the other ones are just like nobody's there.
Yeah.
Like we try to go to some of them. Like is it West End? I forget which one.
There's one.
It's way down, and there's usually just a couple people there, and it's a beautiful walk. It's just like, and there's I don't know, there's like an environmental center at one of them with beautiful chairs, like to sit out on a deck, and it's just lovely.
One of my grandsons interned at that museum/nature center.
Yes.
And he took us on a whole tour there,
Yeah,
but that's
a nice
a good
place.
example of you can spend a nice couple of hours.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of times that's all you need.
Yeah.
It's really
Just a
to
few
recharge.
hours.
Listen, and there is something to say about, which I've clearly social media has pegged me for a girl that loves the beach. because that always is coming up about how for your mental health, just being around the ocean and the water, and it just helps you greatly. So I do think that, and listen, and that's the ocean, but we're lucky to have things, North Hempstead Beach Park to just walk around. I mean, there's places in Glen Cove that my husband and I walk around and go to. There's so many little niche little water spots that you're able to do.
North Hempstead Beach Park along that boardwalk, and they have a trail in there that they also have in the woods, which is nice too. But there's places like that where you can go for a couple of hours, like what we'll do a lot of times, because my wife has a little bit of mobility issue, is I'll bring a chair along, we'll bring a couple of sandwiches along.
Yeah, right. I did it not that long ago with Jay, and we just sat down on a bench, and it was at North Hempstead Beach Park.
She'll relax and
you can go.
Eat lunch.
Yeah.
It's really pretty. It's Long Island, but it's a little far. Comsit State Park.
Oh yeah, Comsit, yeah.
Oh, it's so pretty. And there's because then you're real close to Huntington, and there's a favorite Greek restaurant, we go there. But by the time you kind of drive there, and you can walk, and now in spring, the trees are beautiful. And they have this little restaurant that's close to me at home. They have a little outlet there where they sell sandwiches and coffee and desserts. And it can be 4 hours from leaving to coming back. And you feel like you went on vacation.
Now, is that the one, though, where you do park outside and you have to walk in?
No, it's not a big walk. There's a parking right
in there,
No, you don't have to. I mean, the parking is right in the
There's
park.
another one in a river. Give me a river name. something.
Riverhead? No, I don't know. I'm not sure.
It's a river.
But this is
Comsit. Yeah, Comsit, because Jay actually threw BOCES. I was going to say the Connecticut. I was going to say that.
That one, I believe you do have to park.
No, this one is right then. There's senior rate, and there's certain times that, there's no charge. But it's such a pretty, you can go more into the woods, or you can go more into down, at the end of it. There's a huge mansion, huge, and you can walk around. And
I'm going to take it a little different tact. I'm going to say Long Islanders are spoiled brats, and they don't take advantage of the 8 state parks that are.
Oh yeah,
on Long Island.
Yeah,
I do
that's true.
You
take,
I'm amazed. How many state parks there are
just on Long Island. Yeah, it's very true.
Yeah.
And most of them, you can take the Parkway too, because that was
so
it got its name.
Yeah,
the Parkway took you to a park.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I was just looking at the list. I went online and looked at the list. I mean,
I go to
how many
Hempstead
have you
Lake
been
every
to?
weekend.
That's what Wildwood.
Yeah.
My kids have been to Wildwood. I have Sunken Meadow, Heckscher, Cold Spring Harbor.
Yeah, Cold Spring. Yeah, well, that's what was making me think when you were saying
that.
Comiset, which is
actually
Comiset, which I was just reading is issuing their fishing passes now for the season. Hempstead Lake, which is huge.
I walk every weekend, Dan.
Valley Stream, Caleb Smith.
I grew up at Hempstead Lake.
Well, Beth Page didn't bring up. That's a state park.
No, that's a state park and
Beth Page
golf
has,
course.
besides 3 or 5, I forget the exact number now, but they got a lot of golf courses. But besides that, they have a lot of trails you can walk, which are beautiful.
Yeah,
it's a huge park.
Yeah.
I mean, frankly, you got Eisenhower Park, which is a county park, which has all kinds of. It has Olympic-sized swimming pool.
Yeah.
It has a full-blown ice rink.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
It has all kinds of fields.
Right.
You could walk there.
Yeah.
And
The
get lost.
ice rink is where the LIU Sharks play their hockey games.
Right.
Well, that park is as big as Central Park.
Yes.
Yeah.
It has 3 golf courses.
We should have parks people on, we've
had our parks, the state parks
a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But I mean, these parks they're
beautiful.
there, and you don't need to go anywhere.
It's
No, that's what I'm saying.
You're really right.
I mean, you could get there's bike riding, there are trails. There's plenty of hiking, beaches. I mean, we live on an island.
Well, that's what I think about, Long Island too, and that's a great point. Is you get so many different terrains.
Yeah.
And that in itself is so cool, that you're able to, so you go out east and you feel like you're in farmland, so it's just.
Well, you said farmland. Well, once in a blue moon, a couple of times a year, we'll take a ride to Young's Farm.
Right,
And
I love Young's.
You can get scone and coffee.
Yeah, and that in itself is so pretty.
Sit outside there, and it's a farm.
Yeah.
A real working farm. And I think it's not too far from Sagamore, and Oyster Bay. There's all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Bayville's,
and Bayville, you have, what are I drive by it when we come here. James, no, that's Bayard State Park is up, but with a B again.
The Arboretum?
Yeah, right.
Oh, Bailey's, yeah.
Arboretum.
That's where my
Bayard.
Yeah.
How many arboretums do we have?
Right.
Just in
that is
Nassau
right.
County? I mean, look, Long Island was especially Nassau County, was a group of estates owned by very wealthy people. When they broke them up, these are beautiful pieces of property. That
no, and I think that, even
of.
for people who have, as you're saying, Otto, like, obviously it's great if you have, your mobility healthy, like you could walk around and stuff, but there are a lot of seating options at these places too. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because that is, I think a lot of people say like, I can't, because I even dealt with my own family, like, oh, I can't walk, it's too hard. But, you can still enjoy it, on the bench.
A couple of lightweight chairs.
Yeah.
There's no excuse, because every park is required to follow ADA requirements. So there's something for everybody in every park on every state park on Long Island.
Yeah.
I don't understand why we don't.
The more we keep talking about it here, the more you think the people's vision who don't know Long Island is the Long Island Expressway.
Right. Where we avoid like the plague.
The biggest parking lot in the world. I know.
But I mean, if you look between the North Shore going all the way out, like I love Sound Avenue, when you go out past Riverhead, and if you go along Sound Avenue with all the farms and the wineries, out to Orient Point. That's
sure. The North Fork, I spent
so pretty
summers as a kid, and they used to be potato farms, and now it's all vineyards up there. And still potato farms, but they're not making potatoes anymore. They're making vodka.
They're making vodka. The other great potato.
Well, I mean, that's the thing.
And the history.
If you're inclined to go to wineries, that's not a bad thing.
The extraordinary history
and
of Long Island.
even if you don't, I've been to, and I'm glad you mentioned about wineries, because, I've gone with people who drink wine, who don't drink wine, and it's just a really pleasant day, frankly, for everyone to sit outside. There's usually like some nice games, and you're like, I love to people watch, I could sit there forever. But it's just, and I was like saying, because my mom like doesn't really drink, and she like loves to just like sit out there, so I think that it's
beautiful spaces.
Right.
Anybody who says Long Island is boring. Needs to get smacked.
Right.
No, they're the ones who are having the problem.
I mean, we have so much to do here. You really don't have to leave. And let's face it, it's not easy to leave Long Island.
Now that's a problem.
Okay,
I know.
Long
We all
Island
come up
is not
against
easy.
it.
Part of what I was thinking, I mean, Long Island, you got to go over a bridge,
Take a plane.
whether you like it or not.
Right.
Planes,
Although there
boats.
are ferries that you can get involved with, but I don't know.
And those are
enough
great
about
rides,
them.
by the way.
I
like
love a ferry ride.
I like taking the ferry with the car when we go to New
Yeah,
England.
because my cousin is always hopping on, because they're close to where she is, so she's always hopping on the ferry, and it'll take her to all different.
I have two grandsons worked on they work on the Staten Island ferry.
That's great.
One is in charge of engineering and the whole. The other one is up on the deck. He's assistant
Have
to
you
the
ever
captain.
taken the?
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
You ever taken the Fire Island ferry?
No, that's actually and we talk about it every summer.
Oh, you should do
We
that.
literally talk about every summer. The Fire Island ferry.
Yeah.
You talked about boats earlier.
Yeah.
Right.
I grew up on boats. My father always owned a boat. I wish I could afford to
Yeah.
own a boat. But going on the ferry from to Fire Island, because you can't get there any other way, is extraordinary.
It is.
I love that whole
Actually,
space
you
out
can
there.
get
And that's
to
a state.
Fire Island. You
Well,
can walk to it.
You can walk.
Well, that's what
That's
I've
where
actually
my
done.
wedding pictures were taken.
I've actually,
From that parking lot.
at Robert Moses.
Yeah.
That's
you
where
can
my
walk
wedding
from Robert
pictures were
Moses.
taken.
I've done that. You walk by there, you go past
It's so fun.
You go past these lighthouse.
Yeah.
And
you
then
can
you
climb up
actually
to
go
the top.
into
Well, yeah, technically
You can
you're
go up
on
to the
Fire
top.
But
Island.
is that
Right.
where is the ferry? Bay?
The ferry comes out of, there's one that comes out of Sayville.
Sayville?
Okay.
But my father used to take us on the boat out there, and we'd dock out there in the space where, you had to take a boat. And it was just, it's the space out there. If you like Jones Beach, or if you like Robert Moses, Fire Island, and that's a federal park out there. That's federal land.
Yeah.
It's really wonderful. There are a lot of people, and there are people who live out there too. I mean, there are bungalows out there where people spend their summers. And stuff like that. So it's a really nice space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's really, and that's such a great point. It's like there are so many lovely things to do, and I think that's important.
Museums.
Yeah, and I think that so many people, get
fun.
onto right. It's not even that far away, right?
What's the one on Northern Boulevard?
The Museum of Art.
The Nesta County Museum.
That was like my childhood spot.
Nice...
The amount of time, let me tell you, I spent on the grounds of that as in my teenage years.
Rosslyn, just about where it is.
You want to take a nice walk? I used to do it with my wife. We would drive down there, and I was a member of the museum, but we would walk.
Yeah.
That's William Cullen Bryant.
Yes.
Nice walk.
It's so fun. I
to do that.
literally was there all the time because we were like always just trying to find somewhere like hang out outside.
Right.
And it was like a fun, and it was just cool because you'd see these cool sculptures, and it was just really a lovely, lovely walk. I can say and there's tons of parking, which is also nice. Parking. That I actually learned to do some driving when I was.
But if you're a history buff, I think one of the most exciting parts of Long Island is the Washington Spy Trail, which a lot of people don't realize.
Where is that?
It runs along the North Shore.
Right.
The Washington Spy Ring, which is run by the Talmadge family. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. They were based out of Setauket, and basically Northern Boulevard is the Spy Trail, and there are spots along the way where you can see things, and when you get out there, you understand. There was a dramatization of it called Turn, which was on AMC.
That's why. Yeah,
it's a great
that was good.
explanation.
That was really
People don't
good.
realize that
How much
during the Revolutionary War, Long Island was basically with the British, but we had these spies here on Long Island who were helping Washington by getting information into New York City, and then to him about the encampments out here. We had British encampments on Long Island, and they used to travel across the Sound and to Connecticut and get information from there. It's fascinating, and you're sitting in a building that might not even be here if it weren't for the Tesla Tower that was out on Rocky Point. The radio history on Long Island, radio and television history on Long Island is so rich.
Right.
But people I don't know. I just don't understand it.
Yeah.
There's so much to do and so many things to talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, Long Island, like New England, is over 300 years old. This is where people settled.
And Washington spent a lot of time here.
Yeah.
He did. Well, I was thinking about Rosslyn. I remember my aunt. She should still do it because when we grew up here, I remember she took me and my cousin around, Roslyn Village. And there's so many fun historical things there. I always say, I call it the Duck Pond, but it's Jerry Pond Park.
Right.
And, that whole area walking around there. And she took us, the gristmill and all these things because there really is such a rich history.
They're doing that one over now.
Yeah.
Put a lot of money into it.
But there's so much history just in that, area, and to walk around it is so nice, and that's right in our town. It's really a great.
Well, driving into here today, all right, for some reason the sign stuck in my head about 1926.
Oh, the 100
2026.
Oh, yes, 100 years
That it's 100
Long
years
Island
old.
University.
And I started to think about what was it like here 100 years ago.
Well,
this campus was acquired in 1954, but our original campus in Brooklyn's been there for 100 years.
Well, what campus was it before that?
It was the home of Marjorie Merriweather Post.
Yeah,
C.W. Post's granddaughter. Or
we have to walk around here. Speaking of it, because we talked about this last year,
Yeah.
and I remember Dan was saying, because I'm at the radio show, right? I don't get to see the vast of when people are like, I'm lost. I'm like, oh, I don't know.
There are 300 acres
Yeah.
here. A lot of
Wild.
it is attached to our equestrian center, so
Right.
you'll see horses walking in the wooded areas.
On this side of Northern Boulevard?
On this side, if you leave later and you make a right instead of making a left to go out to Northern Boulevard, it'll take you down. We have an equestrian center. The university just bought more land down there on what we call our South Campus, but you can see the horses, which are cool.
Yeah.
Well,
and then our athletic fields.
I go, which direction are we facing?
If you're watching Otto on YouTube, he's trying to get his
You're
bearing.
facing south
On
away from
the
Northern
other
Boulevard.
side of the road that I take to get in here, on the other side, there's a big parking lot, and if you keep walking through it, you go toward the football field.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
McGrath.
You're headed to McGrath House is.
My wife's maiden name is McGrath, so I had to go see
That's the president's residence.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of different. That's our South Campus. But as you walk down there, you'll see there are new athletic fields being built. You'll see the equestrian center. You'll see the softball field, the football field, the soccer fields, the baseball field. Everything's down in that area.
It's a beautiful campus.
Yeah.
It's an amazing. Plus, if you over here by the mansion, You walk through the wooded area there, and many of the trees are marked because it's an arboretum walk, and it tells you all these trees that the Post family brought here to build this kind of.
So you could probably come to LIU Post, park your car, and just walk around here.
Yeah, but I was even thinking of
example.
Paula was just had a thing at Adelphi,
Oh,
you know,
so much fun
and Adelphi
yesterday.
was such a beautiful campus too, you know. It's like, and even like, you know, I remember they would even have like signs because I used to love that on my like lunch break. You know, you'd see like what the flower was or whatnot, and I think that like these are true things. And like, listen, there's certainly
so much
parking,
fun.
you know, especially when maybe school is not even in session, you know, sometimes.
Right.
But there are these little things that you could do. These
Oh, it was so
these
much
nice
fun.
little walks.
Yeah.
You know, it's very
I parked
true.
as far as I could away from where the event was on campus.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I was there 40 years ago in schools. I was like, let me just walk from the School of Social Work building, so the end of the parking lot, to where, you know, the event was. There was 2 authors I went to hear. It was a literary festival Adelphi now has every this is the 3rd year. And I bought tickets, and of course then it was the busy week, and it was like right in the middle of the morning. I was going to try to run to work, and then I text everyone in the morning, I'm going to just go right to the festival and walk around. And it was such a beautiful day.
But what you just
I
said.
did the whole walk, and I was so happy on this walk.
I know,
The
Paula came
kids,
back. She
the
was great,
energy of college, the college kids, the tables, the people doing different things.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
great.
just
I mean,
so
and it costs you
alive.
nothing.
Right. But that's what I'm
Nothing.
saying. There's these kind of things that it's.
If walking
you-
is
And I
your
got a free
exercise,
book.
I find walking to be tedious unless I change
No, I
the
love
location.
walking.
No, I do. I love
Yeah.
walking.
Yeah, but you
I
have to, like,
go to
change-
you
Jones
have to go-
Beach a lot
yes,
during
yes.
the summer.
Yeah, I
change.
need like a scenic
But
change.
I'll walk Bryant, I'll walk the museum walk. I'll walk the university walk here. I'll walk Eisenhower Park, which is really big.
We do
So you just, my wife and I, we walk together. We try to mix it up.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
most of the time we're at Jones Beach because that's
Yeah.
a great walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love walking there. And
Yeah.
Eisenhower is also a nice walk.
You know, to walk at Garvey's, do you have to be a resident?
No, you don't have to be a resident. You can park on the street.
Yeah.
The actual loop of Garvey's is about 1.7 miles.
Right.
So you know what you're getting yourself
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
Because that's a great walk too. Because
What about Sagamore, where Teddy Roosevelt?
Well, that's a federal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
federal.
but is there
to pay.
walking, a lot of
I don't
walking
know.
there?
There's a lot
Or
of
is it
wooded
small?
area.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
you know, I think it's a lot of wooded things. I don't know if there's like a straight trail over there. Because the last time I was over there, I don't think that.
But Sunken Meadow,
Yeah.
Exeter, they all have.
Yeah.
Sunken Meadow has a nice
As a
walk.
kid, we used to
Exeter
go
has
to
a nice
all of them. My father was, very big. I think I was like 13, 14 when we finally got a car. And my father would take us everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We used to go to Lake Ronkonkoma like
Oh,
every
it's
week.
yeah, I like
And
Lake Ronkonkoma.
From Woodhaven, Queens, that was like
That was a big trip.
going to London.
That's the country.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
I
it is a
love
country,
it.
yeah.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
cute.
That was a big deal. I mean, people would swim in Lake Ronkonkoma.
Yeah. Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
it was a big deal.
They still do. They just come
They
out a
still
little sick to their stomach.
Yeah, right.
I'm kidding. I'm sorry. Like
You said something,
we're gonna get letters now.
You park as far away as you could. I find as a way of life almost, I'll go almost anywhere to the supermarket and I'll park as
Me
far
too.
away.
So, and
I'm not
too.
going to fight with 14
That's
people.
how I
Well,
shop.
I
over-
laugh.
That's why
over one
at this
spot.
event yesterday, there were cars trying to find
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
spot.
No.
Yeah.
And I know they can't, so I'm like, you
Yeah.
idiots. Like,
Yeah.
just drive
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
There's a
And I'll
whole
give you
huge
a fun
lot.
fact. I
Not idiot,
in my
but-
bachelor's, I got a minor in community health, right? Because I took so many community health classes, and that's something that always stuck with me. That my professor said, and he was like, "I'll tell you right now." He's like, "Start small. The best thing you could possibly do is to park, and obviously." You have to be able to,
Right.
to park far away. He said, because that goes such a huge way. And I
And you
laughed
see
because I said,
people's
I have no
faces.
choice. My husband parks like a million miles
Right,
away with his
right,
car,
right.
like all the time. I said, so like I'm used to like this schlep, but it's like those little things
It
that
made me
you
so
know,
happy.
yeah.
I mean, that one decision to just park far.
I
was
spoke
so
to a
nice.
group of students the other day. They were complaining about the parking on campus. And when I went to school here, we had twice as many students and half the parking.
Right, right.
So I got a lot of tickets in those days.
Right.
Today we have plenty of parking, but they don't understand that college campuses are designed to be pedestrian
Right,
spaces,
yeah.
Right.
not to be
Yeah.
spaces. They're
just to
designed to
park,
be.
yeah.
You go to some big schools out of state, and the parking lots are all around the outside,
Yeah.
which kind of is the way it is here. And then you walk.
Right.
But we have kids that live in the residence halls who get in their car, drive around to get as
Oh my
close as
God.
they can to
Right.
humanities.
Yeah, when
Hall,
I was in
which is
college, I didn't even have a
5-minute
car,
walk.
so I was just
But-
I was always
Yeah.
walking.
But no, college campuses are great pedestrian spaces. They're built to be one.
Yeah.
Maybe not, an urban school
Right.
like Emerson or others.
Yeah.
But suburban schools, they're built to be urban. They're built to be pedestrian, walkable campuses.
Well, parking, you trigger. This is not the topic. I'll just bring it up and it'll be the end of it.
You're allowed, my friend.
Like I've heard people talking about parking at a Met game right now. Parking.
Oh, well, that's another story.
At the World Cup, they're going to charge $200 to park at the World Cup. Parking in some venues is like big deal.
UBS, the Islanders, UBS, it's $90.
Every major complex around here, it costs you a small fortune to park your car.
I haven't found out how much it's going to cost, but my son-in-law and I are going to Foxborough for a World Cup game in June. I guess I ought to bring a mortge payment. I guess.
Well, you can get a hotel where you can walk right to.
Well, he lives still there. Okay. They're still going to be in Massachusetts then, so I'll just do that. But
I know.
Parking is an issue everywhere because there's never enough. And in these venues, they're just too expensive.
Yeah.
Me, I go to Shea Stadium, or if I go to the tennis center, not Shea Stadium, Citi Field.
We know, right.
I take the train.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, me too. I'm a big train man.
So am I.
I like train rides anyhow.
I like public transportation.
Wherever
we go, when we travel, we use it. And Seattle has great public
transportation.
Another item that's overlooked out here that you can make a half a day out of is theater. We have a lot of theaters where the performances are just almost a hair short of Broadway.
Yeah, it's a great point.
They don't have the mechanical and the technical expertise maybe or features, but they have a lot of great shows right here.
Right, yeah.
Tillis
Center,
yeah. That's
but I mean,
but even the community theaters.
Yeah, I was thinking the community theaters. Yeah.
In Port Washington, these organizations have been around. Port Washington one's been around like 100 years, and there have been other small ones that have come and go. But we're seeing a resurgence in that because I think people want to see live theater, but they don't want to have to travel into New York, and that's why Tillis. We carry the road show that this university carries the road show of a lot of great shows. Like the Music Man is next week.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and like you got Argyle, Elmont.
Elmont has a beautiful stage.
All these places, and again, it's stuff you can do within here. And some people, I don't need a 3-week vacation, right? I like little shots here and there.
Yeah. It's a little
like every day is vacation.
Yeah. That's right. That's the motto. There you go, Otto. Live your life that way. There you go. Every day is a vacation. And everyone, if you were listening to us live, get out there, enjoy the beautiful day. It is Friday, April 17th, and the sun is shining, which is a perfect remedy for everyone. We could all use a little vitamin D.
Right.
But I would like to thank everyone for listening to Project Independence in You, Talk of the Town. I'd like to thank Paula and Otto for another great show. Project Independence in You is a production of Long Island University Public Radio. Special thank you to Dan Cox. Join us again next Friday at 10 a.m. on LIU Public Radio. Goodbye and have a great weekend.